Shavasana. It deserves its own video because this pose is arguably the most important pose in yoga as well as the most commonly skipped. I thought it deserved its own bonus video for y'all. So in this video, I want to share with you a few reasons why you want to make sure you're creating time for this. And I also wanted to take you through how to align yourself in this pose in order for you to really deeply relax. So Shavasana, many reasons why you want to do it, many layers. But for the purposes of where you are right now in your yoga journey, the main reason I want you to remember to create the space for Shavasana and to do it well is because it helps reset your nervous system. So our nervous systems are in charge of relaxation and stress, and they're kind of like a balance scale, if you will. Okay, so as you relax, you get less stressed. As you get stressed, you are less relaxed. And those systems are going simultaneously, okay, to varying levels. Now, we all have a set point of where this balance scale usually hangs out 80-90% of the time. And most of us have an elevation of stress. Like we are more stressed than we are relaxed. And what yoga does is it helps shift this. It gives us a new set point. Okay, it brings that stress level down. And Shavasana helps us create the new set point. So it's like your practice helps you feel like this. But if you do Shavasana afterwards, a really good solid Shavasana, it helps you walk away from your mat and hold on to that as a new way of being for a while longer, much longer than if you just did your yoga and hopped off your mat. So if for no other reason, it's going to help you really live a calmer life overall. Pretty good reason to be doing Shavasana, right? Now, it is relaxation. It's conscious relaxation, so it's not falling asleep. Okay, if you fall asleep, you haven't done Shavasana. It's okay, you can still count it if you fall asleep. I'm telling you, I wake up students all the time. And it's funny now that I have my online studio because I can't see them, but we're at the end of class and when I see certain heads not popping up, I'm like, they probably fell asleep. And it's okay if you do. I still do occasionally as well. It's more, though, conscious relaxation where you're staying aware and you're helping yourself relax. Okay? So there are a few things you can do that help ensure that you relax. The first thing is definitely add essential oils if you have them. I like to make a Shavasana spray, which is one of my calming oils. I actually have 3 Shavasana sprays that I've made so I can pick and choose what I want, and I spray myself before I go into Shavasana. Super powerful. The second thing you want to do is make sure you are truly comfortable. So you want to get as comfortable as you possibly can be. If you're, have a little hitch in your back or your hip or your shoulder, you're not going to be able to relax as much. And if you can adjust yourself to create more comfort, then definitely do. And I'm going to share with you a couple of things that you can do that just might help. You might not be able to be perfectly comfortable, but as comfortable as you can be. The third thing you want to watch for is you want to be symmetrical. And I am talking anally so. You want to make sure your mat hits your arm on one side in the same place as it hits your arm on the other. If you have bracelets, you take them off. You want to get very balanced. And for that reason, I recommend for layers, because you also need to be warm. It's number 4, I believe. I think I lost count. Layers rather than a blanket. Now, I still use a blanket sometimes, but it's harder to get totally symmetrical with a blanket. Much easier with socks, sweatshirt, mittens. Much easier to feel balanced. Okay? And the very last one is it's really helpful if it's dark. And if you can't make it dark, use an eye bag, a really lightweight eye bag, not a heavy one. Heavy ones actually they found can harm the cornea over time. So don't worry if you've been using one and you're freaked out. It takes time, but it's not worth the damage that can be done. So just do a really light eye bag. I have students who will put their sock over their eyes, or they'll bring their blanket up over their eyes, or do something like that. Okay? Now, the last thing I want to mention is you also want to be as flat as possible. That's actually really important for the resetting of the nervous system. But if you need something for your back or you need a little something under your head because you have tension in the shoulders, then add something, but just enough so that you're comfortable, not so that you're getting propped up. And periodically check in. Do I still need it? I'm telling you, there are certain yoga practices I do where I do not need a release for my lower back. Once I've done them, my lower back will feel good and I can lie flat. I also find that I just don't need my prop underneath my knees as much as I used to. So that said, just be sure you check and make sure you actually need it before you add it automatically without thinking. Okay, so let's get into Shavasana. Now, I happen to know I need a knee lift, so something underneath my thighs. So what I recommend doing if you need it, I just like to get it handy, is to take your blanket from this position, okay, and you triple fold it. I'll show it to you from the side so you can see it. So you have a flat surface, not a round one. And I'll tell you why in a moment. So it looks like that, okay? I'll show it to you, in fact. So if you're going to come onto your mat, and you want to bend your knees, hold behind the thighs, and round down. Then, if you're wearing a ponytail, if you can take it out, because you want to be able to really relax, and the ponytail throws off the alignment of the neck. Then the first thing you're going to do is extend your legs and have your feet more than hip width apart, but not quite as wide as the mat. A little bit more than hip width apart, and then let the toes drop out to the side and take a breath. If you feel tension in the back, then take your blanket and bring it up underneath your thighs, not your knees. You actually have an artery that runs behind the knees, and if you put a roll underneath your knees, it can just slow the blood flow into your feet. You're going to be fine. It's not going to hurt anything, but it also keeps the body from really relaxing because the heart has to work extra hard. Okay, then once you feel comfortable here, again, toes are turned out. You can add more if you need to. If you still need to add more, you can. You can even bring your feet up onto a chair, okay? Get your back as relaxed as you possibly can. Then the arms come out so that they're at about 90 degrees from the body. If you take them all the way out, they're going to get cold because they're too far away from the body, and they're going to be out from underneath your blanket, right? And again, wear a sweatshirt's a good idea, though, so that you don't have to be worried about the edge of your blanket. If they're too close, you're going to hold tension in your shoulders. So you want your arms about 45 degrees, and you're going to tuck the shoulder blades under. This usually alleviates shoulder tension. And then just relax again, check in with the body. The final thing you want to do is get in the very center of the back of your head and gaze right up to the ceiling. Now, if you have tension in the shoulders, you're going to find your head is tipped back. Then what you want to do is you're going to put just a little bit of a lift underneath the head, probably your blanket unfolded like this. I'll just show it to you. Opening your blanket like so and bringing it up underneath your head. So it's not a pillow. You don't want to be lifted up. It's just to get the face flat to the floor. So you want your forehead and your nose, your mouth, your chin on about the same level. Okay? So not like this. And then you just take a few breaths and you let your body relax. And the first thing you want to do once you've done that, once you've let everything go, is just check in. Am I truly symmetrical? Is the mat hitting my arm in the same place on each side? You can even check to see where your hands are hitting, like am I resting on the same knuckle on each side of my arms, in each hand? Am I resting in the same place on my heel on each foot? And if you can't adjust it because your body's imbalanced, it's okay. Just do the best you can. And then you close your eyes. Add an eye bag if you want. Take a couple of deep breaths and use those deep breaths to help you relax and release. And then let yourself go and just continue relaxing, relaxing, relaxing. It is helpful to have a guided Shavasana, and I do have one on my YouTube channel. The first few times, I find with beginners, I tend to talk most to Shavasana because it's easier, and then my more advanced students, I don't talk at all. I just say go into Shavasana, and then I sit quietly as they do their Shavasana. So it just depends. Sometimes you need more help. I know I have days where I need more help than others, for sure. Now, to come out, what you want to do, you want to come out very mindfully. And I see this all the time. People will just jump up. But when you lead with your brain, it stimulates your brain, and that's your nervous system. And remember, we have just set our nervous system down to a quieter place. So we don't want to stimulate our brain. So we want to actually have our head be the last to come up. So you're going to start by just bending the knees. And you can bring them up into your chest if you need to. I usually like to do that and just rock side to side. I find the older I get, the more my lower back needs a little love and attention. And then roll to one side. You're going to make a pillow with your bottom arm. Turn your head down and just rest here for a moment. Your goal is to bring the quiet and calm of Shavasana with you every step of your return. Right? So you're not hopping up and going on with your day. You're just coming back to that calm. Then you push up with your top hand. Keep the top leg relaxed and keep your head heavy as you come all the way up. Keep that head heavy. Remember, it's the last to come up. Eyes stay closed. And come back through the center. It's so nice. I already feel better. I was just laying in it to demonstrate. So enjoy your Shavasana. Create time for your Shavasana. It is a gift. It's a treasure. And it is worth every minute. It's going to take your yoga practice to the next level. Namaste.